Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting of the Lebanon Utility Service Board for Wednesday, April 9th, 2025. Let the record show that this meeting was properly advertised and that all board members are present tonight. I believe Mr. Stoner will be in shortly. We did have a working session prior to this meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty.
All right, we'd like to offer public comment now and at the end of each of our meetings. So we'll go ahead and offer that if there's any comment from the public. I don't see anyone here at the moment. So if not, we will ask again a couple more times tonight. First item tonight is the approval of our minutes from the March 19th, 2025 meeting. Everyone had a chance to review those minutes, and if so, I'd entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Tim, seconded by Ann to approve the minutes from the March 19th, 2025 meeting. Any additional comments, questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, next portion of our meeting here is the public hearing. Ryan, you want to kind of kick that off for us, and then we'll keep moving?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. This is for the public hearing to approve Kokosing Industrial Incorporated as the wholesale contractor on the wholesale water main phase 1 as part of the scoring committee with numerous members of city council, mayor, city planning and zoning, engineering, and Lebanon utility board members. It was a unanimous decision to pick Kokosing based on their presentation, past work, and body of work overall. And I would like to offer for the board to start the hearing.
All right, thank you, Ryan. We'll go ahead and open the public hearing, and we offer public comment as part of this hearing as well. So if anyone from the public has any comments they'd like to make at the podium, this would be the time for that. All right, don't see any public for comment, so we will have board discussion. Anyone from the board have comments, questions, anything they'd like to bring up as part of this public hearing?
I've expressed before that I was impressed with the diligence that the scoring committee exhibited in studying all the proposals very carefully, and I am pleased to. I am very comfortable with the selection that was made.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Well, I just think, in our pre-meeting with all the contractors, it was emphasized how important schedule was for this. Kokosing did a great job. But the other thing that came to light with regards to importance is the ability to sanitize the line as it is constructed. And Kokosing brought forward a very unique and well thought out way to do that. And I think that really helped them quite a bit. We had 4 very qualified contractors for this. Kokosing did a nice job.
Good comments. Anyone else have anything they'd like to mention here as part of this public hearing? All right. Motion to close the public hearing?
Please.
All right. If there's nothing else, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Ann to close this public hearing. Any additional comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
And just as a procedural note, board, we have sent the public-private BOT agreement, as you more affectionately referred to Kokosing. I've yet to receive those comments back, but once we work through those, I would anticipate being back in front of you with a resolution with the approval, the agreement, and a resolution finalizing that recommendation.
All right. Thanks, council.
Will that agreement include the maximum price?
Yes.
All right. Moving on to item 6. This is the wholesale water main land acquisition authorization. It's an action item, and Jeff Jacob, our legal counsel, will read, I believe, resolution 2025-04.
Yes. And then board, as discussed in the working session, I will be adding in the next to the, in the now therefore, the last paragraph, language making it clear that this request is for this specific phase of the wholesale water main project, referencing the specific exhibits. This is Resolution 2025-04, a resolution requesting the delegation of eminent domain powers from the Common Council of the Lebanon City Council. Whereas the City of Lebanon owns and operates by and through the Lebanon Utility Service Board, a municipally owned utility known as Lebanon Utilities, for the purpose of providing safe, reliable, and efficient water service in and around the city. The Common Council of City of Lebanon is vested by the state of Indiana with powers of eminent domain. The City of Lebanon and the City of Lebanon Utilities are authorized by Indiana Code 3224 to exercise its power of eminent domain for the purposes of acquiring private property necessary for the operation of a municipally owned utility. Whereas the Lebanon Utility Service Board needs to acquire fee simple ownership, temporary and permanent easement rights of private property for the purposes of expanding and improving its water system, specifically the wholesale water main project, Phase 1 in Boone County, Indiana, as generally depicted in Exhibit A. Whereas the details of the necessary acquisition rights are detailed in attached Exhibit B. Whereas in the interest of efficiency in the operation of government and the utility itself, and to aid in the acquisition of needed property interests, it is necessary that the Lebanon Utility Service Board be authorized to exercise the City of Lebanon's power of eminent domain for the purpose of improving and expanding the water system as set forth above. Now therefore be it resolved by the Lebanon Utility Service Board, it is recommended by the Utility Service Board that Common Council of Lebanon pass an ordinance delegating its authority to exercise the power of eminent domain to the City of Lebanon Utility Service Board as depicted in Exhibit A and detailed in Exhibit B for the purpose of allowing the utility to acquire property interests through the exercise of eminent domain if needed and is necessary in order to expand and improve the water system, subject to Common Council of the City of Lebanon's right to withdraw the delegation of authority at any time by way of properly adopted resolution. Happy to answer.
Any questions for Jeff on this resolution 2025-04?
As we discussed in the working session, that any eminent domain request, that the final decision would be in one of our local Boone County courts, most likely the circuit court.
Statutorily, your file in circuit court.
Right. And as I've made note before, I think that an elected official or officials should be the one or ones who make final decisions on important matters of eminent domain. And I will be voting for this resolution because I'm satisfied that the elected judge will have ample incentive to judge fairly.
Right, thank you. Any other comments, questions for Jeff? If not, I would entertain a motion.
I move to approve resolution number 2025-04, requesting the delegation of eminent domain powers from the Common Council of the Lebanon City Council.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Ann to approve resolution 2025-04, requesting the delegation of eminent domain powers from the Common Council of the Lebanon City Council. Additional comments, questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, thank you. We'll move on to item 7, which is the wholesale water phase 1 contractor inspection. It's an action item. Hey, Ryan. Oh, hey, Spencer.
Good evening. This request is to provide the approval for the wholesale water phase 1 construction inspection agreement. If you remember at our last board meeting, we had the approval for BF&S to provide the construction inspection. This specific one is for the agreement itself. The inspectors will provide for overall, the ground storage tank, the booster station, the elevated water storage tank, and over 12,000 linear feet of 36-inch main. The inspectors ensure that all construction standards are followed and also ensure that contractors stay within the construction easement. This is also part of the wholesale water supply bond. I'd like to point out that the overall cost is at a savings of $2,112,100, and that is a deficit from the allotted budget amount. So this, I request that the approval for BF&S to perform the construction inspection for the wholesale water Phase 1 project for the amount not to exceed $3,387,900. Excuse me, dollars.
All right, thank you, Spencer. As you know, there was also a committee that reviewed the applicants for this construction inspection, and as Spencer said, BF&S was chosen. Any questions, comments for Spencer?
So if I understood the agreement correctly, an inspector will be on site the entire time
Correct. It'll be a team. It'll
for-
not just be one. Yep.
for each segment. So,
Correct.
so
All four of
so
those
in other
packages.
words, we'll have full-time inspection service for all phases.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Correct. This is a team. This isn't just one. Correct.
All right, any other questions for Spencer here on the contractor inspection? If not, I would entertain a motion.
I move to approve BF&S to perform construction inspection for the wholesale water Phase 1 project for an amount not to exceed $3,387,900.
Second.
Motion made by Ann, seconded by Tim to approve BF&S to perform the construction inspection for the wholesale water Phase 1 project for an amount not to exceed $3,387,900. Any final comments, questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, Spencer. Next, item 8 is with Jeff Greeno, our electric operation manager, and he will address the board about that My Tree Sons, the NTE is an action item as well.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. I got some quick paperwork cleanup I need to do. I need to get a not to exceed amount added to a previous board approved item. I would just like to ask the board to approve a not to exceed amount of $240,000 for My Tree Sons Amendment Number 1 of the 2024 tree trimming service agreement.
Should that be 2025 tree service, or is 24 correct? Are we back
The agreement was last year.
last year?
It was
Okay.
an amendment to 2024.
Okay.
Jeff, this is a little bit less than last year, isn't it? This total?
I believe it's the same amount,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions for Jeff on this amendment?
I didn't have, just an observation that I think we're doing a good job on tree trimming because we had those high winds and we didn't get much in the way of call outs from it. So to me, that's some proof in the pudding there.
Good point there. Yeah. Anything else? Motion?
I move to approve a not to exceed amount of $240,000 for the My Tree Sons Amendment Number 1 to the 2024 tree trimming service agreement.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Ann to approve the not to exceed amount of $240,000 for the My Tree Sons Amendment Number 1 for the 2024 tree trimming service agreement. Additional comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
Looks like next item, number 9, will be a tabled item. This is the Angeli Gardens conduit and equipment installation. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right, we need probably a motion and a second to table that.
Please, thank you.
I move to table the Angeli Gardens conduit and equipment installation.
Second.
Motion made by Ann, seconded by Tim to approve tabling the Angeli Gardens conduit and equipment installation. Any questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that item will be tabled. Next item is an action item as well. It's our electric department pay. Sandra Morgan is here, our CFO. Hey, Sandra.
Good evening. Hopefully we can get Elmo working, but I think you guys have this. So in early February, the Personnel Committee contacted myself and Ed and recommended that we conduct a market study for the electric journey lineman, apprentices, foreman, and supervisor positions. And the reason for that study really relates to the competitiveness of the market at this time. So based on research that I went out and did, I think I contacted between 8 and 10 utilities to get information in from them. And then I know the Personnel Committee had gotten information on their own. We are recommending taking the journey lineman pay to $52 and then base all other positions off of that salary. So right now what we're looking at, I don't know if you can actually see that, would be 60% for a year one apprentice, 70% for year two, 80% for year three, 90% for year four, and then the journey line worker would be $52. Foreman would be 105%, and then supervisor 110%. So all of that research, I think we went over in the working session 2 weeks ago. But based on this study, we're recommending that the board approve the new format and new wage scale as presented with an effective date of April 21st, which would be the first day of the next payroll.
All right, thank you, Sandra. Anyone have questions? I know the board discussed this and I think it was in a working session, but any questions for Sandra on this change?
I have some comments I wish to make. The hourly rate for lineman apprentice year one, the annual increase the hourly rate increase is 25.15%. For apprentice year two, it's 38.35%. Hourly rate increase for apprentice year three is 24.25%. The increase for apprentice year four, hourly rate is 15.13% increase. The journey line worker increase is 6.45%. The foreman increase is 9.16%. The supervisor increase is 11.68%. Our linemen and apprentices have I think, a unique combination of physical stamina and detailed knowledge to do their jobs that's very important to the city, that we want to pay our linemen a fair wage so that we can retain and attract good linemen. Also, I hope we get some allegiance to Lebanon Utilities, additional allegiance to Lebanon Utilities from our linemen, because there's not that many employers anywhere that's going to approve increases to this amount. And I just wanted to make those observations.
Thank you, Aaron.
Well, I think Sandra kind of undersold it here a little bit. The data that's generally available for these types of wages is a bit scattershot and difficult to obtain. She had to individually call many other utilities and get line by line item here. And we learned quite a bit in this process. To me, one of the most unique things is to actually tie the apprenticeship process to the pay of a journey lineman. We've never had that before. It makes a lot of sense. We'd never seen that before, but this took a lot of work, and very, very accurate data was obtained for us to do this. And I think moving forward for us, this is really good, because ultimately we're going to be able to model all this data off of the journeyman lineman's pay, which should be the most available in markets, and be able for us then to assign pay for everyone, not based upon each individual position, but on that journeyman. And I think that makes just a lot of sense for an electric utility like us. This is a lot of hard work, detailed work that's not generally known. So Sandra did a lot for this.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Sandra. Any other questions for Sandra here?
I just want to reiterate that Sandra did a terrific job making phone calls, looking at a plethora of data sources, And we also are looking at a broader study of, for other employees to make sure that we retain our employees as we grow. Because we're looking at, as an example, our company's probably, our city's going to probably double in size over the next 10 years. And we're expanding our water and wastewater. So we're trying to be very proactive and look at this from a data-driven and keeping our people and keeping up with the growth and keeping ahead of it. Thanks, Sandra.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ed. Anything else for Sandra? All right, if not, I would entertain a motion.
Move to approve the new format, new wage scale as presented for the electric journey line worker, apprentices, foreman, and supervisor with an effective date of April 21st, 2025.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Ann to approve the new format for the new wage scale as presented in the electric journey line worker, apprentice, foreman, and supervisor with an effective date of April 21st, 2025. Any additional comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you, Sandra.
All right, thank you. And just for the record, within probably by Monday or Tuesday of next week, we plan on going out and talking to all of the linemen. And I think Tim, as the electric liaison, is planning on joining me. So we will take care of that and make sure everybody understands the changes.
Great, thank you.
All right, thanks.
All right, next item is the approval of our claims, payroll, and transfer. Everyone had a chance to review those items, and if so, I would entertain a motion.
I move to approve the claims payroll transfers dated April 9th, 2025 in the amount of $3,669 or $1,576.83 for claims and payroll and $6,936,576.01 for transfers.
Second.
Motion made by Ann, seconded by Tim to approve the claims, payrolls, and transfers dated April 9th, 2025. Any additional comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, any other business tonight from the board? Ed, anything from you tonight?
Yes, sir.
We'll offer public comment again. Don't see anyone here for public comment. Looks like we're scheduled to meet actually Monday, special meeting on Monday, April 14th at 3 p.m. And then we would jump back on the normal schedule. So if there's nothing else, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Ann to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, we stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone.